Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men, women, and children of all ages. How is it going, guys? So we got another episode of School Stories rolling out at you guys. This is the series in which I tell you guys a bunch of stories that have happened to me in high school and in grade school, and hopefully you guys can learn from the advice and my experiences, as well as share a laugh with me about some of the funny experiences. So I have a little bit of a list here. It's probably not going to last me this entire 10 minutes, but I have to talk about this commentary. A little note about the commentary and the gameplay. The gameplay is a Black Ops gameplay that I actually got a few weeks ago. It's not like some very old Black Ops gameplay. I still do actively play this game because it is my favorite Call of Duty. So we're going to jump right into high school stories. This is going to be the focus of this episode, is high school. So, thus, high school stories. So, first thing, I have one word written down here, and it reminds me of a very funny story. So, it was actually from this year, technically not this year, 2014, but this school year, my junior year. We were in AP US History, and me and my two other friends, Aiden and Brandon, shout out to you, Brandon, be Swag Daddy. He was upset that I didn't give him a shout out in my other video where I mentioned Roger and Andrew, so shout out to you, be Swag Daddy. So we were sitting there in the back, because we sit in the back corner, and teacher asks, alright, so does anyone who know who founded Georgia? What was the name of the guy who founded Georgia? And my one friend was like, oh yeah, it's George. And the teacher goes, that's correct, Oglethorpe, James Oglethorpe. And we just burst out into laughter from there, because that was extremely hilarious. We still laugh about it to this day. It's just, oh my god. You'd think it would be George, but it's James Oglethorpe. I don't know. Maybe you guys find that funny, but we found that hilarious, and we died of laughter for like 15 minutes. This reminds me of another story. I'm going completely off track with my list here, but we just finished taking up a test on, actually Friday it was. Last Friday. We just finished taking a test, and my friend Brandon, we said something. Something was said, and my friend Brandon goes like, oh yeah, I have huge nipples. Me and Aiden just kind of looked at him. Like, yeah, dude, they're really big. And I'm like, how big? And he's like, they're fucking huge, man. And I'm like, are we talking like 6-7 inches in radius? He's talking like, no, 30. They overlap, man. They go onto my back, and that was another time we died of laughter. I have a lot of dying of laughter in that class, because I have some pretty funny friends, especially in that class, and I'm a pretty funny friend, too. So, another story from this school year, it was actually like 2 weeks ago, I think. It was a fight in lunch, and that was the first high school fight I've seen. It was pretty lame. It was this tall, probably like 6'2" white kid, had this little 5'1", maybe 5 foot black kid in a headlock, and like, we were all exiting lunch, so like everyone saw it, and like the administrators were like, hey, break it up, and they ran over, and little black kid like throws an over the headlock punch and like barely grazes the kid in the head, and like rips the kid's hand away, and he's like, hey, I told you to stop it, boy. So that was my first high school fight seeing, and I must say it was pretty lame. I thought high school fights would be a lot better. Another thing. If you have a girlfriend, and you two have a same teacher, either for the same hour or for a different hour, never let the teacher know. I've had like 4 teachers that have been insanely awkward about me dating my girlfriend because they've had both of us. Let's start out with my freshman and sophomore year history teacher. We'll just call him Mr. Redizzle for right now, because I don't want to tell him his name. So, Mr. Redizzle, who is no longer at the school, he accepted a position in another school as athletic director. So we were walking in the halls, this was like 2 weeks after we started dating, and Mr. Redizzle was walking the other way, and we were holding hands, me and my girlfriend. And Mr. Redizzle was like, oh, I didn't know this was going on, and he pointed to us, and he smiled, and I was like, oh my god, he's just going to be insanely creepy now, isn't he? And so, needless to say, he wasn't insanely creepy in the next class period. Although, the next year, like, the same thing happened. He's like, oh, I didn't know this was going on still. And I was like, oh, this is insanely awkward. But Mr. Redizzle was chill. He let us sit next to each other for the entire year, and we're kind of proud of it together. So, Mr. Redizzle was pretty cool. We actually started dating in Miss Snidizzle's class. It was what started it, but you know, Miss Snidizzle never really acknowledged our relationship at all. Then Miss Liridizzle, we'll call her Miss Liridizzle. She was our chemistry teacher. She was very awkward once she found out we were dating. She was like, "Aww," every time we'd walk into class and we were holding hands or something, she'd be like, "Aww," and she'd just give us like the weirdest smile ever. It was insanely creepy. I thought she was going to murder us both, or put us in a box and keep us. It was weird. I also think, no, never mind, I'm not gonna say it. Ms. E. Dizzle, who we have this year, was insanely awkward about it. She apparently talked about me at conference. That was another thing. Mr. Ridizzle talked to my girlfriend's mother at conferences and was like, "He is an amazing boy. If I had to choose someone for my daughter to date, he would be the one." And I was insanely creeped out by that. But Miss E. Dizzle, as I was alluding to before, was insanely creepy to my girlfriend about conferences and stuff, and he's very weird to us about us dating and stuff. She says she thinks it's so cute. She's very awkward about it. And then, Mr. M. Dizzle, Mr. Murdizzle, we're going to call him Mr. Murdizzle, my English teacher this year. And he was a dick about it. He moved us away from each other. We sat in the back, and like, she was the only one he moved. He moved her like 2 seats up so that we couldn't be next to each other. And then there was a D move on his part. I could talk about last year I was in driver's ed, and I had like 2 near-death experiences within the span of 30 seconds. So my driving partner, Josh, complete dumbass, would not trust him in the car. So I don't know why he was driving that or how he passed. But oh my God, Josh. So we're sitting at a stop sign, getting ready to make a right turn, and Josh, being the dumbass he is, doesn't look either way, and goes to pull out, and Mr. Woodizzle slams on the brakes and yells at Josh as a car zooms by us. Josh almost turned and got us all killed in like a 40-mile-an-hour car crash. That would have been very bad, Josh. You were a dumbass. And then he's like, "Fine, Mr. Woodizzle, I'll look both ways." And he looks both ways, and he goes to pull out again. And again, Mr. Woodizzle slams on the brakes as another car goes speeding by. Josh is a dumbass, and I hated that I had him as a driving partner. And, another experience in driver's ed, it was like my second ever drive with the instructor. And he was like, we were practicing parking, and we went to Walmart and everything, and that was over. So then he like, I was driving through the Walmart parking lot, and he like had his hands in front of my face, and he was like showing me stings, and I looked at him for a split second. I kid you not, a split second. And I turned back to the road, and some old like 60-year-old bitch is walking in front of the car, not even in a crosswalk, and the driving instructor slams on the brakes. I was paying attention to the instructor for like a split second. And this bitch walked out in front of the car, and I wanted so hard to slam on the horn, but the driving instructor would have yelled at me. He's like, "You gotta pay attention for those things." And I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me, man? It was your fault. You were distracting me, and she walked out in front. I had the legal right of way, not her." So, very mean. Alright, I can talk about homecoming now, since that's on my list. Homecoming. I didn't go to my first 2 homecomings. I didn't go to my freshman year homecoming, and I didn't go to my sophomore year homecoming. But I did go to my junior year homecoming. And I thought homecoming was gonna be pretty lame, and it wasn't that lame. It was really fun. It's more fun if you go as a group than with just as a couple. It is really fun because we went with a group. We went out to dinner first, and then we went to the dance, and it was really, really fun. Like, it was seriously so fun. Me and Swag Daddy, we were grinding up against each other, doing the twerk against each other, and I know it makes us sound gay, but if you knew my group of friends, we were just that group of friends that were like, we're such brotherly that it turns gay sometimes. I'm sorry that it has to come out that way, but I'm not gay. For all those of you that think I might be gay, I am not gay. So, B Dizzle, if you're out there, I want you to post a comment. You know who you are. So, yeah, like going to dinner was probably one of the most fun things. I'd never really gone to dinner with a group of friends, and that being my first experience going to dinner with a group of friends, it was really fun because we're all dressed up, and like the waiter was like, "So you guys have like homecoming or something?" And I was so tempted to be like, "No, just going out." That would have been hilarious because there was like a group of 7 or 8 of us. 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie, "Yo, home, smell you later." Yeah, a little reference to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air there. But yeah, I would highly recommend, if you guys are like on the fence about going to homecoming ever, or any dance really, I would highly recommend going, especially with a group of friends. It is one of the most fun things you can do in high school, and I can testify to that, because I was definitely like I don't believe in dances type guy for quite some time, but then, I don't know what really changed in me, but I became that kind of guy, and I like that kind of guy, because their dances are really fun in high school. I will definitely say that. Dances are extremely fun, and you guys should go to them. So this video is wrapping up. I hope you guys enjoyed this pretty darn good gameplay. I know I did a lot for the team to let us win. And here you see 34 and 22 with 5, not 1, 2, 3, 4, but 5 captures. That beast mode gameplay is worth a like from you guys. And I encourage you guys to subscribe for more content from both Call of Duty and Star Wars Battlefront. And I will see you guys later.